October 16th, 2021. You can hear the sound of my voice. You know that you are listening to His, Hers, and Ours, a real-life couple holding real-life conversation with real-life friends. Coming to you live from the house that Surgeon Alfie built, Flow Ohio Studios.
Cheer.
I am your host, Solomon Davis, with my co-host,
Shannon Raya Davis.
What's good?
You thought I was going to say the culture queen. I knew you was waiting for it.
I was ready to cancel culture.
Yeah, whatever.
Since you're the culture queen, we're going to cancel culture.
Anyway.
What's good?
Shout out to the month of October. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Did a breast cancer walk for my cousin today, and it felt so surreal, you know. But I'm positive she's gonna beat this thing. But it was just cool to be amongst my family doing a walk this morning. So
if you had to guess, how many people would you say participated?
Probably maybe like 30. Maybe 30 people were there, and it was just for her. It was just hers, and it was just a private one. And they did it from like 8:30 to 10:30 or whatever. And it was just people out there just showing her love, and it was really nice though. It was at Farrell Middle School, and they had like little refreshments and stuff for you. It was just really nice. Like I said, to be a part of that and be with family.
All organized by family?
Yeah. It was actually one of her friends who organized it and put it together. And then there was like one of her, I guess, breast cancer sponsors or whatever, like teammates, I guess. And they were there to help do support and stuff like that. And it was really nice. Like I said, I think I enjoy spending time with family, probably more so now than I probably have ever done before, just because we're living in different times. You know, COVID has been rampant and just taking people away. So I want to enjoy them while they're alive and have fun and take these moments in, because these aren't things you can get back, and you don't take life for granted.
That's what's up. You know, over the last couple of years, the awareness of different diseases or, different functions society has taken notice of, and October has always been that month where it's been breast cancer awareness. Just want to take a chance to tell people to go out and, we a couple of months ago talked about mental health, but, physical health as well. Make sure you get these yearly checkups, these annuals. A lot of these things, although we can't say that, that's 100% that we can stop them, but if we can catch them early enough, just make sure you get your checkups. Women, like mammograms, things like that. Guys, get out there, get your prostates checked and what have you, because these things are taking people out left and right. I think over the last year and a half, we've been so concerned with, COVID and what have you, that we kind of neglected these other things that have been there as well. And, we can't prevent them, but, if we can catch them ahead of time, we can put up a great fight with it.
Absolutely.
So as we always start off the show, how was your week?
My week was pretty good. I'm feeling good, feeling confident. Yeah, this week really was good football-wise for me.
y'all just want to move that segment to the beginning.
No, we're not. We're going to keep it to the end, but I just had to throw that little nice jab out since I was in the back of the bus.
Because sports-wise, I'm pissed.
But anyways, so
we're going to take this whole first segment. This whole first segment, we ain't going to do nothing but talk about sports, because in sports, I am pissed.
I understand. So please tell us why you're pissed.
First of all, people mad that we represent here in Tampa Bay. Major League Baseball robbed my Tampa Bay Rays.
Absolutely. Bad call.
That was the worst call ever, to have a ball hit off the center field wall,
onto
off the
a player
leg of the center fielder, and then over the wall, to only call it a ground rule double, and for the runner on first base, who would have scored easily had the ball remained in play, hold him up at third, stopping the Rays from taking the lead in extra innings, which allowed Boston to win the game and move on in the series.
But you know what, too? We had a couple of players that didn't show up this year like they went last year. I'm not going to call out any names, because I easily couldn't take their place. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're still professionals, and I applaud them. Even from a management standpoint, we got to get us some starting pitching, because all this, like, you started a reliever.
Well, I mean, that's what we do. I mean, we have that, what we call the opener.
Gotcha.
Let them come in for 1 or 2 innings and then put a starting pitcher in to get us through the 3rd through the 7th inning. That's just what Kevin Cash has done over the last couple of years, and
right. And I'm not knocking it because it works during the regular season. But when it comes playoff time, you got to put in some different playoff moves. Obviously, it didn't work for us too well last season because he took off one of our starters who was actually doing really good, took him out too early. So I'm thinking like I don't necessarily feel like they got to get rid of Kevin Cash, but maybe he may need to change up some of his techniques because that's about growth,
right?
And being able to look at the criticism that he's receiving and take it and process it and be able to come out with a different plan.
So my advice to the Rays, I mean, I can't say that you do a poor evaluation of talent because obviously it'll always be in the playoffs and to win the American League East this year with the payroll that's 28th highest in Major League Baseball.
To win it 2 years in a row.
Well, we didn't win it last year.
They just won the whole American League.
Right.
The conference.
So, I mean, you're going to have to spend some money somewhere and get me one starting pitcher that I know that when I'm down and I need one game, I can put a starting pitcher out there that's going to guarantee me one win. Like just the Dodgers had with Kershaw. Like
Kershaw ain't. Don't use him.
I mean, but he had
Don't use him.
We've had that before, and we had David Price, and we had James Shields.
We've had Sells
even
like
last year
season.
with Blake Snell. We need that one shutdown pitcher that when we know if we're down 2-1 in the series, we can start him, and the series is even again.
I'll take that for you, Alfie.
Until we get that,
I'll be giving his picks.
I'll be giving picks already. Like I say, y'all trying to just move that segment to the
it's just that'd be the first thing on your mind.
Y'all trying to catch me that bad?
Nah.
Y'all want to get up on me that bad?
Look, I'm on your ass, Mr. Postman. Sure? I look like it.
Just because you had a good week don't mean everybody else didn't have a good week. And it's okay,
but go ahead. So, on to, even with that, when you go to that for the Rays, and that took them out, San Francisco had a similar situation. Well, somewhat similar, not necessarily to play off the wall per se, but there was a play that took them out as well.
For a check swing called strike 3 to end a series, that is the worst possible thing that can happen in baseball. And for the umpire to come back afterwards and say, I blew the call, which that next pitch, that man could have hit a home run and game could have been over.
Absolutely. But that's part of the problem. I think nobody wants to check each other because that's the purpose of the umpire at home saying, I didn't see it. Let me go get some help. And your help got to be able to have your back.
The guy that's right up the line that can see.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they were in extra innings, so I think the umpire's just like, man, let me call strike 3 and let's get out of here. I just want to go home and get out of here.
But you know how hard it is to get to that point? Like, to make it to the playoffs. So, like I was telling somebody when they were trying to talk about the Rays, and I was like, yo, you live in Chicago. Mm-hmm. Y'all home, too. But the way y'all went home out the gate. So, I'm not even trying to even go there. Like, we ain't arguing about this. But I simply said to him, we're usually 27th, 26th in the league in payroll. Mookie Betts makes more money than our whole roster.
Right.
Like,
crazy.
So for you to tell me something about our team, like, we have a hell of a talent eye. Like, we can scout the hell out of a team because our players always go somewhere else and get their big payday.
So how about this? With the Rays organization, we won the American League East. And then at each level, minor league level, we won the division in every level.
That.
But do you understand how hard that is? Like, we're legit.
And then what even made me more mad about that is watching the Astros and the Red Sox last night.
I hate them, but...
So the Astros come back, blow the Red Sox out last night, and we dominated the Astros this season. So we should be on our way to the World Series this year.
But you know what? Playing against the Astros and watching them against somebody else be something totally different. Because I absolutely hate I despise the Red Sox, but I hate the Astros. And I think more so it goes back to the fact of how I watched them cheat against the Dodgers in that World Series. Because remember, I was sitting in there, I said, Solomon, it's almost like they know everything they call it. I've never seen anything like this. And me and Solomon, we have conversations watching sports. So for me to say, I was like, dang, they reading them. Something is wrong. And then for it to come out the next season and they be like, look, Shannon, they was cheating for real. But it was just how I felt because I had never seen them hit everything. You was killing Jansen. He was like their main, like he had an awesome year that season. And for them to just be killing Jansen like he was nobody, like he was up like playing at little Pee Wee, They was popping him off. He was even looking confused. And I know that played on his psyche, like, what am I doing wrong? Only to find out they were cheating. So I still have that, even though they went out and got a black manager. Shout out to Dusty Baker. I love him. Don't get me wrong. They still, to me, have that stain of, like, yo, you dirty. And y'all still got to keep the championship and everything. Like, that to me was just unfair. So I always look at them with an asterisk on their name. You know, the Astros. They just put a little asterisk by them.
Okay.
Whatever. Pun intended.
I mean, but they're there now, though.
They are.
So it can't be all.
They are. They are.
So switching over real quick, sports and parenting again. We always talk about the sports world's greatest dad, Dwayne Wade, and how he treats his kids. So now Dwayne Wade, part owner of the Utah Jazz,
Don't hate.
just signed his son
To D-League.
to the
G
Utah Jazz
League.
D-League team.
Yeah,
G-League
G
team, I
League.
should say. What's up with that?
Time
I
out.
mean, you get your own there.
Hold up. I don't see anything wrong with that. There have been, how many black owners are there in the league?
I mean, he's
How
a
many-
minority owner. He's not a
Look at
majority
time
owner.
out. Bill Belichick's son is a defensive coordinator for his team. And you mean to tell me that's okay? So Dwayne Wade is wrong
I'm
for
not saying
putting
anything's wrong with it. I'm just saying, how do you feel about it?
shout out to Dwayne Wade.
Is-
Head of the year.
You're in the position. You should help your kid.
Is he taking an opportunity away from somebody who deserves it because he's filling a roster spot with his son?
I'm not sure. I'm
mean,
not
his son
sure.
was nice,
There's
though.
somebody. Yeah, he's not a bad kid.
He wasn't good enough to go to a college scholarship.
That's okay. But how many people walk on into these different things and get into like the NFL on a walk on a
So
tryout? It happens.
I have to look at it like this. I look at my man in Charlotte, LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
So Melo
Mad.
takes his senior year off from high school, goes to a pro team over in Australia,
Gotcha.
becomes MVP in that league.
But his daddy ain't nobody. So come on.
It's a strategy, though.
But I'm saying if his daddy had now you mean to tell me if LeVar Ball had a basketball team, he wouldn't have
He
LeAngelo
would have
on
all
the
his
team.
kids on the team.
Absolutely. So don't come telling me about LaMelo going across seas and doing whatever he need to do. That's okay. That man thought he did the best thing by putting his son at that college, that pre-college
Sierra
out there
Canyon.
in California. He thought he was doing his son a favor. Not understanding that, okay, all these kids are D1, recruits and scouts like that or whatever, and they're coming in for one season and this and that, and those coaches are playing them. So he got pushed back. A lot of that, we watched that documentary. He got injured, too, a lot of that season, too. He wasn't starting anymore because once you get, it's like next man up, and if the next man who up show out.
But we also know
That's a
that
done
in
deal.
that senior year, we saw in that documentary Dwayne Wade having an argument with the coach because his son wasn't getting playing time.
Yeah. I would look,
So
if I'm
arguably,
looking at...
in high school, you have to fight for playing time. Now I command a roster spot on a developmental team for
Solomon,
an NBA
you
roster.
got a daughter who was playing softball, and you sat out there in them games, and this man put a fat ass third baseman in the pinch run for somebody else, and my kid the fastest thing on your team. That was a slap in the face. You don't think if I had a college team that she wouldn't be out there on the field playing?
That's a
Come
coach
on.
doing that. That's not the owner.
Like I said, it doesn't matter, coach, owner. If you are in a position to make a change for your kid, or make your kid shoot a shot, try it. What's the worst thing that's gonna happen? He get exposed once he get in the league, and then you can't keep him on the roster because now all these eyes are on you. Once if they call him up and say, okay, he's done well, he's done his part down here. Let's go ahead and move him up. We got a roster spot. You think they ain't finna get? They're not gonna be business minded about? Okay, D, we know that's your son, but we got a need right here, and he's getting dead in. So now it's going to become on-the-job training. Let me see what you got.
I guess my thing now is, if we've always shouted for years and years that first it was racism that we had to deal with, then we had to deal with nepotism, but now he's using that same right with nepotism.
But how often do we get to use that right in this field?
So the fact that he gets to use it makes it correct?
I'm not saying it's correct.
Because
Who's
we
to
finally
say-
get a
who's
chance to use
say,
it?
Time out. Who's to say that spot wasn't, like his son ain't earn it? They had a tryout. Who's to say they didn't? That he didn't do good enough to make the team?
I just find it hard to believe that you
Why
have to
you find
fight.
it hard to
you have to
believe?
fight for time on your high school
So,
team.
can I ask
and
you
now
this?
you're getting paid.
You watch Utah in the playoffs. Is the guard position not a position where they need help at?
No.
Are you serious?
I think Utah is very solid at guard.
Really?
Mike
And all
Conley.
the injuries.
Mike Conley. Donovan Mitchell.
When the last time
Jordan
Mike Conley played a
Clarkson.
full season? He didn't even play in the playoffs.
It's called
So-
load management.
Whatever.
Load
Whatever.
management.
He ain't even play in the playoffs, but whatever.
Trust me, Utah's gonna be all right for a while, and I mean it'll be a
We'll see.
while before Zaire Wade
And
reaches.
he may get onto another team because just because you're on that team from the G League, somebody else can call you to another team. He's not signed to the Utah Jazz, so if they gave him a 14-day contract, a 10-day contract from Golden State or whoever, they have that right to. They can see him. I'm not mad at him.
So you're not mad. You don't see anything wrong with it.
Nope. Your daddy will leave a business to you.
But if it was Jerry Sloan's
your daddy
son,
an owner.
if it was Jerry Sloan's son, would you have a problem?
If Jerry Sloan's son came out there and he could
If it
play,
was Jerry West's son, would you
I
have a
don't give
problem?
a damn which Jerry you call. If they was out there and they had an opportunity to play in that G League, all I say is this: you can give your kid an opportunity, but what they do with it is what makes a difference. Like I said, where else Bill Belichick's son gonna be the offensive coordinator at?
I mean, Doc
Who
Rivers'
was
son plays
calling
with
him?
him.
Yeah.
Now he didn't start that way.
It
There,
don't-
there was an
He might have been
opportunity.
out of
Time
the
out.
league. They probably know
Right.
they wanted him. He was probably like, you
Time
know,
out.
But listen,
let me go get my boy.
But at the time when
he's made the rounds around the league. He got
Exactly.
Hold
He
on,
made
hold
some
on.
rounds.
Hold on.
He was sitting on his couch when he got on his daddy team.
But don't tell me that.
Somebody made a phone call. Yo, your son had been in the league. Yo, we could get him, Doc. Come on. Yeah, come on.
What college offered Zaire Wade a scholarship? Not one.
Not
Austin-
a,
Midland. I
no,
think
not
might
a
have been a
Division
Duke.
One. It
Austin
wasn't a
Rivers was a
division-
starting point guard at Duke.
Okay, and
He
then-
was a first-round draft pick.
I done seen a lot of Duke bust first round
I'm
draft picks.
talking about
Let's
Duke because
stop.
you're a Carolina fan. That's why
I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not saying that because about anything, but you keep it 100. Where is Parker? Jabari Parker, where he at?
in the league, Boston.
He been Boston, but he done been on several different teams since then. But he was a first round pick,
Listen,
pick
forever-
of his draft.
Listen,
So
just
stop going
just
there.
because y'all had the greatest player of all time go to your school.
I'm not
don't
saying
mean
that.
we can't compete.
I'm not saying that. All I'm simply saying is just because he went to Duke don't mean that much. The thing is that when he went to Duke and he was a starter at Duke, he wasn't no starter nowhere else.
Hey, I can't help it.
He last year he played a hell of a 6-man. They had to put him in a starting role in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So let's stop trying to act like it's just all that. People get in places by their names. And Zaire Wade got an opportunity based off his daddy's name and his daddy association. I'm not mad at his dad for doing that if he had an opportunity. There's not a dad or a parent out there. Heck, most of the little local football teams, basketball teams, is a mom as a daddy or a mom or somebody's child on that team that they coach. And you always see the daddy ball going. You see the mommy
I
ball.
understand that when we're talking about Pee Wee and
I don't
and Pop
care, but it's
Warner
still
and-
taking an opportunity
and-
for somebody
and
else's child who's more
AAU.
athletic.
But when we're talking about
is he
professional
not still
basketball.
taking an opportunity from someone else?
As an owner, as
Don't
a general
dance
manager,
around my
no,
question.
Listen,
Don't
as an
moonwalk.
owner, as a general manager, my job is to make my organization
He ain't the GM.
best it can
He is
possibly.
a part
He's the
owner.
owner.
He a
So
part
my job
owner.
is to make this organization the best it can possibly
And
be.
who's to say that his child can't do that? Like, can't be a part of that?
Like
Who's
I
to
said,
say?
There's a million and one
Who's
people
to say
out
that?
there.
I'm
who would
look,
possibly live
give
the
Zaire a
opportunity.
chance. Give him a chance.
Let him
What's the
earn
worst?
his chance. Let
He-
him go overseas
he gonna
and
earn
play.
his playoff.
Let him go overseas and play
He's
like
gonna
LaMelo
earn his
did.
playing time. Well, tell LiAngelo to go over there.
That's what they did.
Yeah, and he came over here.
He
and they
came
still
back,
cut
he
him.
cut again, and
And
where's
his
he at
brother
now?
was
Going back-
whining. And his brother was whining about it. Now, if his brother had an opportunity, he would have kept his brother on there too. It's just, it was an opportunity. Who wouldn't want to do that?
Hey, go improve your game, man.
Whatever.
Get your weight up.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So sticking to sports in segment number 1, the ultimate topic in sports this week.
Damn, Kyrie.
No, Chucky.
Oh, him too.
Chucky, what do you feel? What do you feel about Chucky?
It's a lot of backlash. I honestly think that, was it warranted?
Was it warranted?
Yeah.
I believe. Let me preface this. I don't agree with what he stated in his emails. I do think his freedom of speech has been violated. I do believe what you say in private emails are what you say, and I mean it should be held for that. The fact that the investigation was about the Washington football, hell, they were the
Absolutely.
Redskins at that point in time. They weren't the football team. They were the Washington Redskins.
And shout out to D'Angelo Hall for helping us understand, because we kept trying to figure out where in the world who's
So the
leaking
fact
this.
they were investigating the Washington Redskins.
Reggie
and
said it was not private, but go ahead.
And the fact that, well, Reggie, I mean, in that situation, the NFL is a private institution, is a private organization.
Entity.
So when Bruce Allen is using his professional email to receive these from John Gruden, who was not in the NFL at that point in time, he was a commentator for ESPN on Monday Night Football. I mean, the investigation was about Washington, and the fact that they leaked that.
Go ahead.
The fact that they leaked that, you know, in the investigation, because Gruden happened to be the highest profile name that they can find tied to those emails.
But Reggie is absolutely correct that this was on a company email server, and you worked for a big company before, and you understand that at some point they tell you these emails are not that's their property. They own the rights to that. So when they pass them off, that's the Redskins' business. It was no longer John Gruden's.
So if this was an FBI investigation, how did this New York Times reporter get this information?
I don't know who gave it to him. I'm just saying it was a private. It wasn't private.
And let's be honest, me, you, and Serge sitting here right now talking. If John Gruden's communication with Bruce Allen were as such, you can't tell me there are other conversations that haven't been had by other owners, general managers, coaches, and what have you.
But those probably just were the ones that they knew would be a fire starter.
No, those were the ones that, hey, you know, somebody's going to have to take a downfall here somewhere. Gruden just happened to be a casualty because I'm sure when you dig deep enough, the whole Kaepernick situation is in there, involved in this.
It is, because he mentioned it about the kneeling and the people, you know, arguing about the flag.
Eric Reed calling him this, that, and the other. Now,
the Eric Reed thing, come on. Come on. It was funny.
Now, although I'm a Buccaneer through and through and what have you, I gotta really take a stance and say I don't think Gruden would have been removed from the Ring of Honor had he not said what he did about Brian Glazer.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, asking Brian or telling Bruce Allen, tell Brian Glazer to perform oral sex on me.
SMD.
You know.
Gotcha.
So they immediately removed him from the Ring of Honor, and I'm still waiting to see if they're gonna take that statue down in the middle of One Buck Place.
You can't. Well, unless you know who he is, you won't know who he was, because it ain't like it's the best looking. But anywho, for me, I think a lot of times you don't know what people think or how they feel about you until something like this happens. There's a leak or someone else tells you that that was what was said. He after all this came out, there was no coming back. He should have resigned day one when they found out about it before he came out trying to apologize. It was just way too much for him. You got a openly gay player on your team.
Absolutely.
And that was just a stressful situation. I felt bad, you know, because how do you address him? Like, how is he supposed to look at you?
So, what's said in the sanctity of your friends or people that you consider tight? I mean, because as we know, Bruce Allen was the general manager here in Tampa along with Gruden. Gruden brought him along when he was hired. He felt that was his homeboy, so he just was, you know, quote unquote barbershop chatter with him. There are some things that I'm sure that we as men say in barbershops that we want about women that we wouldn't dare say in front of our girlfriends or wives. And so I'm thinking that this is basically the same thing that happened. It happened over 10 years ago. Like I said, I don't agree with anything that Gruden said. I just honestly think his First Amendment freedom of speeches were violated.
But Curry pointed out a good point. He's like, if it was John Gruden's email at Gmail instead of his ESPN email address or, you know, whatever else, like an AOL account, then this would have been a violation of your privacy. But when you work for those companies, you're absolutely correct. That is not there's no privacy.
Mm-hmm. So, quoting Randy Moss on something that he said Sunday on ESPN Sunday Countdown, he was very, very emotional. It moved Randy Moss to tears to where he was quoted, "We talk about leadership. We give you guys these big contracts because they want to be able to lead 70 men, coaches, equipment staff, and managers to the number one goal, and that's to win a championship. And for us to be moving back and not forward in the 21st century, like I said, man, the National Football League, this hurts me. The clock is ticking, and I'm sorry, but we got to do better." So this is coming from Randy Moss, who was targeted back in his day, you know, as, you know, the ghetto kid who would never learn, wasn't given an opportunity at Florida State because of some trouble he got into. removed from West Virginia and had to go to Marshall, who wasn't very highly known at that point in time, to become arguably one of the best receivers to play the game. And even once he gets in the game, still looked at as, he has to earn his right. And now as, proven himself, moved on to the, the media side of things to address the issues that are going on in the NFL. It's not just a John Gruden thing. It's an organizational thing and how the NFL treats the entire situation.
I agree. I tell people oftentimes, we have a daughter who identifies as gay. So I know for a fact I've said some things to her that if it got out to somebody else, they would be truly offended. My rationale for the way I spoke to her was just toughening her skin so that when she get out in the world, that there's nothing somebody can say to her that she hadn't already heard, and that she doesn't have to give them the same response. She already knows how to hold that response. And that was one of the things that I looked at. I'm like, look, if they would have saw how I talked to my kid or even heard me on the phone when we were as she was growing up and when she told us this, they probably would be like, I'd be canceled. I know I would be for a fact, because I was saying stuff to her, not to hurt her, but just kind of to prepare her, because this is how people viewed her or how they view gay people and how they think about things in that way. But the minute you mess with my kid, it's all gloves off. Like you can get both these two pieces. Like it's on. So I get where, like, my thing is more so is, has he had a changed behavior from 10 years ago? You can't make me believe that he still thinks the same way and view the same issues the same exact way.
Right. So
from 10
what
years
you're
ago.
saying right now, and I'm also going to piggyback off that and addressing Bakari and Reggie and what they just stated in the chat here. Reggie, what you're saying is the NFL has a lot more emails, probably worse than what Gruden said.
Absolutely.
I agree with that, and that's what I'm saying. Why was Gruden made the face of this? Because he happened to be the most notable name on that list of emails that they possibly had.
He may be the only one that's coaching
He might
right
be the
now.
only one whom people will say, John Gruden said that? So that's why it's become a target and his name was put out there. Like I said, I don't agree it. I don't stand by what he said, but I just feel that he's going to be the scapegoat in all this, because of that name and who he's been in the past.
Absolutely.
Bakari, I agree with you as well. We say a lot worse, but people don't know it because we're not using a company email. We might be using our texting on a cell phone or using our own private emails accounts, like you said, a Yahoo account, a Gmail account, or what have you. So it's not an ESPN server, an NFL server. But you can't lead me to believe that on these servers there aren't more detailed messages that are going back and forth through other people that are in collusion in order to have an initiative push through.
Is it not true that, like, John Gruden is one of those coaches who, like, people believe, he's not a player's coach in a way. So for real, like,
right.
he came, and I think that may be going to the agenda.
That I was going to make that Keyshawn Johnson on his show in the morning, Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, stated when this all hit that he knew something like this was very John Gruden-esque, because in his days of playing under Gruden, he said, I saw through Gruden's act right away. He was a fake, a phony. I mean, granted, he provided us a different energy than what Tony Dungy did, but we all know that was Tony Dungy's team that won a Super Bowl. I always give Gruden the credit for winning the championship because I felt that he held the offense to a different standard that Tony Dungy didn't. That's neither here nor there. But for players to come back and say, as a man, he wasn't honest, he wasn't genuine. And
did you hear other players say that he wasn't? Like, that's what the vibe they got from him, other than Keyshawn? Because you remember when Keyshawn got here, they were basically making him sit out the rest of the season, paid him out. So how can you, just use that?
So, Bakari, once things got out about optics at that point, he had to go like Ray Rice in the video. If those never got out, he'd still be cool. You're absolutely right. Absolutely. I agree. But I guess the point I'm trying to make, Bakari, is the fact that was 10 plus years ago. He was, the coach of the first openly gay player in the league in Carl Nassib. I don't know what his relationship with Carl Nassib was. Only Carl Nassib can speak to that. So
Nassib didn't.
When Carl Nassib, found out about this, if he and John had a conversation and they were okay, and maybe Gruden's attitude changed over 10 years. We're talking about something that happened in 2010. I don't know. I just know that, like I said, I felt that in an investigation that was focused on the Washington Redskins, why was John Gruden put out there 10 years later? That's the issue that I have with it.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, we enjoy the conversation. We definitely appreciate the feedback coming in the chat. I mean, we always enjoy that. hit us up on the chat, or when you're listening to this, you can also come back and send Shannon and I both DMs and let us know some things comments as you're listening, or things that you would like for us to talk about in the future. We're going to head to the first break in this episode. Serge has the music. I'm Solomon Davis, my co-host.
Shannon Royal Davis.
We'll be back.
We're going to take our next to go.
Let me find out. Put this on your tongue, baby, find out. Stop, baby, nigga, weird, I'm putting fire out. Stop, baby, pussy good, I'm taking time out. If you gon' give it, I'm down. Low key, maybe you gotta show me, we can hold on. If you ever tried, you gon' see me so gone. Yeah, shut it at my vibe when you fuck the slow song. G, I ain't spend a dime on the bitch in so long. Niggas want me down, I would leave you so wrong. Shawty think I'm trying, she gon' blow up both phones. Give my dog a honey like a bro, we both on. They gon' see me on the ground, I gotta keep my blow on. Always all that drink, I ain't know it, I just think all that money in the bank got me feeling so alone. When I think of pain, I just think of all home. Shawty got that wobble, she won't put that all on. When you know I'm guapo, you call on me. Bitch in that Cuban, that bitch, you fall on me. I ain't got nothing to do with this bitch, she all on me. Can't let a nigga tell you that ball on me, no. Nigga from, let me find out. What? Put this on your tongue, baby, find out. Stop, baby, nigga, weird, I'm putting fire out. Stop, baby, pussy good, I'm taking time out. If you gon' give it, I'm down. Low key.
I'm a nigga that's been standing 10 toes for a while. Your main nigga been doing you too wrong for a while. Go katana, go board, go crustacean, go to towel. Hit it from the back so long, I had you throwing in the towel. If your nigga come back around, then he know he out of bounds. You hold that pussy down while I'm overseas, can't let you drown. Take you out to Aspen, know I'm moving mountains. If you wanna go shopping, just call up my account. I just went to go buy a crib, you thought I was laying off. I got $1 billion niggas, call up the A's on. Got some Kellys, got some Birkins that got your name on them. Hold it down to Golden State like I was Draymond. You know I always said the vibe, and I get inside your thighs when you got that t-shirt with no panties under it. And I bet the neighbors know my government. Been stroking and I hope I don't come in it, yeah.
We nigga from, let me find out. What? Put this on your tongue, baby, find out. Stop, baby, nigga, weird, I'm putting fire out. Stop, baby, pussy good, I'm taking time out. If you gon' give it, I'm down. Low key.
And we are back. Segment 2 of His, Hers, and Ours, a real-life couple holding real-life conversation with real-life friends. I'm your co-host, Solomon Davis, with
Shannon Royal Davis.
Segment 2. It's on you.
All right. So segment 2, we'll jump into a little bit. I'm just going to dance on the little Kyrie thing a little bit real quick. And talk about how he did his whole press conference on his Instagram live.
Yeah, because he couldn't be in the building.
And I joined it. I joined it just to see what he was gonna say. And he basically wanted people like, hey, you have a right to choose. I'm not mad at him for taking his stance. If that's your stance, then you stay over. Like, you take this L for the season and be okay with that. But don't try and come to me explaining to me like, why you doing this? That's your decision, and you need to stand by it. And he was like, people don't need to support people for their decision. I don't got to support you. That's your decision. That's your decision. I'm not mad at him for, taking the season down. But I look at him differently from a standpoint when it comes to sports. Like, if your whole team took the initiative to say, okay, yeah, we're going to do this, make this playoff run and try and get this championship together. When he was the first piece that got there.
No.
Oh, it was
You're
Kevin.
going exactly where I wanted to go on
Go
this.
ahead.
And I definitely appreciate your thought process. There are 30 NBA teams in this league. Kevin Durant was a member of the Golden State Warriors. Mm-hmm. He decided that he was going to join the Brooklyn Nets after having a conversation with Kyrie Irving and saying, we can do this together.
Okay.
I feel sports, especially team sports, it's bigger than just you.
Gotcha.
So Kevin Durant had 29 other places he could have gone, or he could have re-signed with Golden State.
Right.
You left based on this man's word, and now I'm looking at, hey, we made a run without you last year because we understand your girl you got hurt, your girl was having a baby. We get knocked out of the playoffs in Game 7. Now we starting all over. We got James Harden for a full year. Hey, the East is ours. And now you decide, nah, dude, I can't do this.
He doesn't want to fall back on his stance. That's his right.
So I look at it like this. In my personal opinion, I've gone back and forth with Serge about the Jordan LeBron situation, and I always was like, you know what, Jordan was although he talked bad about it, his teammates in practice and threw bows and did this and what have you.
But whatever.
He pushed his teammates to be better. Paxson would say, Kerr would say, when it came to that moment, Mike had that confidence in me.
Right.
And so I would look at LeBron and say LeBron was selfish sometimes, although he would give the ball up in the right situation. LeBron needed those people in order to. So when Kyrie left saying, I wanted to be a superstar on my own, I kind of supported Kyrie on this.
Right.
But
he
now
is fellow Dookie. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey,
Duke,
Kyrie Irving, Austin Rivers. I mean,
Look
Duke.
here.
But, hey, listen, when Kyrie left Boston to go to Brooklyn, I was like, all right, he gonna partner up with Durant. They're going to add a couple pieces here and there. They're going to be a beast in the East. I mean, dude, it's bigger than you.
So do you think that he's creating this, he's getting a name for himself? Because now he left Cleveland when he couldn't do it and he couldn't get along with Bron and whatever else, and he left Cleveland and went to Boston. You go to Boston and
you can't get along with
nobody. Like, what's the issue? Is he ultimately the issue now that he's removing himself from it for this season?
I mean, it's like we tell people in relationships. I mean, if you've been through 3 or 4 different relationships, and you're the problem is this, that, and the other, the only consistent in each relationship is you. You might be the issue, and Kyrie might be the issue. I mean, this is a dude who, ultimately came out and said the world was flat.
Yeah.
With
He
the
went
Duke
to
education.
Duke. He went to Duke. Shout out to Duke. Yeah, Coach K. But I think that, so for me, I'm not mad at him. If that's your stance you want to take and you don't want to be vaccinated, that's your choice and you have that right. And he was like, look, I don't want to miss out on a $60 million. You're like, who wants to miss out on money? You have that choice. And my thing with him more so was while he was on that live, he was like, this is my choice. You have to make a choice for you. And people like, yeah, shout out this and that. But how about y'all don't have Kyrie money?
$100 million in the bank.
Kyrie
Y'all don't have a Nike
he can
contract.
allow to sit back and sit on the bench and take a break and take the season off, while he, figures out his situation or whatever the case may be. If that situation were myself, like somebody in the comments, shoot, you can. That man said you can give me an STD and I'll come play for you for $12 million a year. And that's not Kyrie's salary, but he was just shouting that out in the comments. Right. So I was laughing at some of the stuff people were saying, but ultimately it's his right. Like, I don't want a person to tell me I have a right to choose. For if you're pro-life or you're not pro-life, whatever the case may be. You have that right, and I don't want anybody to feel like somebody has to take that right from you. But when it comes to your livelihood, you have to make that decision and be good with that decision. But don't try and sell me on why you made that decision. I'm good on it.
I mean, I just hang my hat on the fact that arguably, talent-wise, on the court, he is probably top 3 point guards in the league. I put Steph and Dame up there with him, in my opinion. I could be wrong.
Gotcha.
Steph, Dame, Kyrie, 1, 2, 3. But like I said, it's bigger than him. I believe you owe a Kevin Durant, you owe a James Harden, you owe a Blake Griffin. We're all coming together to attain the ultimate goal. I mean, that's just like to make a football comparison with Brady calling out and saying, "Hey, Gronk, come out of retirement. Hey, Fournette, they cut you in Jacksonville. Come down here."
You getting everybody here.
It's bigger than me.
Right.
We all gonna eat off this one.
Right.
And
I got you.
because of what's happening in the East right now and people building these teams, Miami's got
getting
a
it.
Miami's got a squad. Philly, if they can get this thing right with Ben Simmons, they got a squad.
They can't, honestly. Ben Simmons, okay.
I mean,
whatever.
Atlanta's building.
Yeah.
Even the Knicks are back in the conversation. I mean,
so do you see a
why
repeat?
you laughing, sir?
Do you see a Milwaukee
Because
repeat?
we ain't say Cleveland.
I know we ain't.
Did you see? Do you
I see
think
a
there's a
Milwaukee
Milwaukee
repeat?
repeat of the East?
No, I think
Okay.
Milwaukee just had a perfect storm brewing. Not to say they're not nice. Milwaukee's
Gotcha.
a real nice team. I just think that Phoenix didn't match up well with them, and that's how Milwaukee ended up winning.
Okay.
You have to have somebody who has some type of presence to keep Giannis in front of them, and I don't think Phoenix had someone to keep Giannis in front of them.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we'll segue over into a little bit of reality TV. Ray J files for divorce from his wife, Princess Love, for the third time. Now, you being married, this is your second marriage. Do you really think when you're in that marriage, like, that it takes you 3 times to figure out if you want to stay or go? Like, if you've gone to the place of filing for divorce.
I don't keep up with Ray J.
I don't. I just happen to see it, and I'm just like being married.
Let me understand this. He has actually petitioned for divorce.
Yes, filed through the court. Either not just him. She filed one time, he filed one time, and now he done filed it again. So it's 2 times for him. 2-1.
3 strikes, you're out, I guess.
But for men, like, what is that for you all? Like, to get to that point, what does it take to get to that point to just file, like, keep going back and forth? You say you want to stay, you want to go,
so
like,
look
what
at
is
it like
that?
this. I mean, every relationship has its ups and downs. Mm-hmm. And I've always been under the mindset that if I propose to someone, if I say, you know, I'm going to marry someone, then I'm going to fight for my relationship. I obviously love the person, or I wouldn't be proposing to them. Mm-hmm. So it's not easy to say, you know, however many years they've been together, that, you know, I'm just going to end this right now and have to go on the rest of my life knowing that relationship failed, and try to pick up the pieces and rebuild all over again. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe going through the process of a divorce, you know, they had a couple conversations, hooked up a couple of times, and were able to say, you know what, maybe let's work this out.
So it's sex that keep them back again for the third time?
Sex.
Oh,
I mean, they could have hooked up. They could have had a dinner or something, just had a great conversation, mm-hmm. just the vibe. I mean, there has to be some type of connection for you to have said "I do" to this person.
Right. They have. Now, mind you, keep in mind they have 2 kids.
One of these dates and talking and what have you, it's like, this is what I miss about you. It has nothing to do with the sex. The sex is just cherry on top of the cake. Mm-hmm. But this is what I miss about you. This is the vibe we had. This is what we connected on. And, you know, maybe it was some type of reconciliation effect that they thought they could go through. And mm-hmm. now it's like, you know what? As much as I thought we can reconcile, it just ain't happening. Do
you think that is possibly because of the kids that they have? They have 2 young children under the age of 4. Yeah.
Everybody wants to raise kids in a 2-parent household, but doesn't necessarily mean that y'all have to be together if you're productive as parents. Mm-hmm. I mean, just communicate when it comes to kids, and they can still have the best life possible, knowing that both parents love them, appreciate them, and are taking care of them. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't advise anyone to stay together just for the kids.
Right. Yeah, I'm totally there with you. I just thought that was something that was different. Just for 3 times. I think, you know how sometimes people, usually you see this a lot of times with couples that don't necessarily involve children, where they get a divorce and they get remarried, because I've seen people get remarried to their ex again.
Would you get remarried?
If I got divorced from you,
yeah.
Would I remarry you?
Would you remarry me?
I don't know.
Why not?
Man, I don't know. That's a lot of factors in that. That's not even.
I mean, this ain't been the best time of your life.
It's David says it's the comfort of having someone. Okay. But I mean, you can replace that someone with someone else, because it seems like men, y'all find someone else to get up under so quick.
But I'm in my John Legend bag. I mean, best you ever had.
Are you?
Am I not?
Oh, okay. Top 2.
Am I not? hey, I may be top 2 and I ain't number 2.
Okay, that's your record. You have that right to feel the way you feel, sir. However, I don't know. Like, if I left, it depends on why we would split, because I'm not a fan of, or I'm not a proponent of just always just going back to what's comfortable for me. Mm-hmm. If it was something that, like, if it was my absolute deal breaker, absolutely not. I think that if you break my deal, like, you understand what my deal breakers are. So if that was a deal breaker, absolutely not. I wouldn't see myself being. I just think
it depends on where you're at. You know, when he filed this paperwork, when she filed the paperwork, you know, how bad was the relationship at that particular point in time? Mm-hmm. You've experienced this going through me with my initial divorce and what have you. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was hell the first 3, 4, 5 years after the divorce, but now, I mean, you're a witness to this. You see her and I out in public, and we're amicable. We're not, you know, knocking the doors down.
Hugs and
we're not going
now.
knocking the doors down, trying to talk to each other, what have you. But we see each
Are
other.
You
it's
sure?
hugs,
We
kiss,
wait. We wait to talk. You know how that is.
Over time, you know, people just change.
Yeah.
Emotions, you know, they become diffused. Both people realize that, you know, they may have played a part in what went wrong in the relationship. And
Absolutely.
as you grow, you're like, you know what, I can become accountable for the part that I played in it and say, listen, I might not have been the best husband. She might say I might not have been the best wife, but we can put those differences aside and, hey, be friends now.
So for me, I think that with any relationship, you should be able to, for the most part, if it's not something that was just like there was some type of trauma there or anything, but for the most part, I think that you should be able to be amicable with another person. I like to call them white people breakups, is what I say. Like, I had a homegirl who broke up with her
That sounds
guy.
like a John Gruden comment.
Listen, say what you want. It's like white people breakups is different from black folks breakups. I don't care what you say. My homegirl.
Did you use that on your private server?
Look, I'm using it in public right now on this platform. But I told her, I said, man,
Cancel
look,
culture.
she and her guy, the guy she broke up with, they were still like on the same cell phone company, like the same bill. And she was like, look, you're going to have to get off. And she gave him like 3 months. Me, your phone off tomorrow. Not today, tomorrow. Because I'm not going to let you stay on my phone plan.
Why is that?
Because I'm petty. I'm real petty. I'm petty like that.
David Robinson, men are controlling and think they can change things. But God.
Ha! I like this, David.
David, you been reading Steve Harvey books?
I just think, to me, you should be able to, any relationship, be able to walk away amicable. It doesn't have to necessarily be about sex. Like, I know how to walk away from people and still be friendly, like, with them, but I have my own zone, like, my own line. There's a line in the sand. Like, I'm not crossing this with you. We cool at this point, and that's what we'll be. So, if we broke up, and even while I'm trying to search for the next stepdaddy, we ain't playing around. We just gonna leave it alone. You just gonna stay in the top two, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, okay. If we break up, you better be trying to get back ASAP.
Whatever.
ASAP.
So, on to other news. You know, Eve broke the news that she and her husband are expecting. And I was excited for her, you know, because sometimes, you know, and you can't make me believe, and she wouldn't talk about it, but they have been trying for years. Like, he has kids already. So I'm super excited for her. She's over 40 at this point, or she's 40, 41-ish, or whatever the case may be. And I saw some of the comments that were in there, everybody like praising her, but like, dog, you know, she's older, you know, so you get this whole ageism with when a lot of black women wait later to have their kids. I don't think
is that true? I mean, because think about early mothers and early childhood pregnancies and what have you. You know, a lot of young black teens, 18, 19, 20, you know, in college having, you know, random affairs, this, that, and the other, and that the result of that being pregnant. So
Absolutely.
My thing is, I want to hear from you, because I know that with our child, you know, you were, you know, late 30s having her. Some of the difficulties
knocking
you
on
had,
the door at 40, but go ahead.
some of the difficulties that you had during the pregnancy.
Yeah.
But also go ahead and correspond that to your first pregnancy back in your early 20s.
So I'm going to answer your question, but I'm going to throw this back at you. Look at the kids that's in your child class. When you go to your baby daycare, those daddies ain't great. They wearing their pants down. They got their dress. They like, you know, they still young, you know. How does that make you feel? Like, I know that, and even the teacher said to you,
I'll
you
be
could tell
feeling
the
like
difference.
the man when I walk through.
Man, you're tripping. So I'll be honest.
No, if you want to say, I'll be
Go
honest.
ahead.
So dropping my child off at daycare every day, you know, seeing the younger parents and that, what have you. I think the only time it got me was because there's a security gate where you got to ring the buzzer to get in and what have you. One day I rung the security gate, and a younger gentleman was walking out as I was walking in. He's like, "Hold on, I got you, OG." And the fact that he wants to call me OG, I'm like, I'm like, come on, man. So that was the only time I didn't take no, you know, like he was coming at me out of pocket or anything like that. You know, it wasn't like it was any, you know, he was trying to insult me or what have you. It was just like, dang, I'm really that old dad, huh?
So for me, I'll be honest. When I had my daughter young, it was not planned or it wasn't desired at the time, you know, whatever. I'm grateful for my kid, but she had to learn with me because I wasn't a mom. I didn't even like little kids like that. Like, I had a nephew. I loved him to death, but that was it. Like, I never even played with like a bunch of Barbies. I was really like a tomboy, so I didn't really care for all of that stuff. In the wrestling, all the sports, everything. So to have a kid, and then you actually have to act like you playing with like a little baby, a baby doll. This is what my mind had to go to. But she learned on the cuff as I learned, and I only taught her what I knew, you know. And I wanted her to be smart, so I took extra time to teach her different things and along the lines. But as I got older, it became my desire. I was like, you know what? I said, God, I don't want to be nobody else's baby mama. I don't want nobody else baby. Nobody can't call me their baby mama. They're going to have to call me their wife. That's what I desire. And that's what I wanted. And it took a lot longer because we went through processes of trying. And it wasn't until we was like, yo, let's just plan vacations and let's live life. We already got one kid. We're okay. And a baby doesn't solidify our relationship. And we had to get to a place of being comfortable with that, that we wound up getting pregnant. I think that in the Black community, we don't talk about that a lot. You notice a lot of families that have kids that be like, you know, they're like 7 years apart, 8 years. That's probably a fertility issue. That's not always something that's planned, but we don't talk about that enough. You have young white women who talk about it in their 20s. Like I said before on the show, those girls are married by the time they're getting out of college. Like you look at Bo Nix, who played for Auburn. He the quarterback. He can't even focus on the game, but he out here proposing at the stadium, you know, for his girl. He's not even
That's culture. I mean,
it is. It's a culture thing.
He sees Drake at Dodger Stadium. He sees Derrick Rose at Madison Square Garden.
But he don't have to run out. He don't have to run out.
All you gotta do is tell the train, let him in. You know,
right? But it's just that's their culture, and I think in the Black community we don't talk about that enough. And I'm gonna say Black and brown communities because you see that in Hispanic communities as well. We don't talk about the whole infertility thing, or we don't talk about the marriage piece. And I've said that before. Like our conversations are different. You know, as women, you see that's why you see a lot of single women out here now after they've chased their career. Now they're looking for husbands, or they're not even looking for husbands, just looking for a partnership with somebody so they can have a kid. And it's a lot of women that feel that way, but we don't talk about that enough. You know, we dealt with the whole like expectation. Okay, I got a late period. Oh gosh, it's like 6 weeks, and then all of a sudden here it comes. You know, like so we dealt with that up and down. We went and got tested to make sure that everything worked. Like we were in a good space. And the minute we started getting into that process of okay, like let's just try. Let's see what happens. Let's go get these tests done. We get pregnant, and it takes off. So I share Aunt E's excitement, you know, because I know what it is, and I feel differently even as a mom. The 40-year-old mom that Royal gets is different than the 20-year-old, 21-year-old mom that Jaden got, you know. So, and they see the difference. I'm a better parent now that I'm older, and I think that I wouldn't take that experience away at all.
Okay. So transitioning, we spoke about Ray J. Congratulations to Eve with, you know, her first pregnancy. Much success to you. God bless you and your family. Keeping it on reality TV as a hip hop fan, and you know, as a husband, my wife, your husband. Yeah. One of my favorite artists is Kanye West.
Absolutely.
So Kanye's ex, Kim Kardashian, hosted Saturday Night Live.
Right.
Did you happen to catch the monologue?
I did. So I'm not a Saturday Night Live person. I kind of catch it through Hulu because I'm not like sometimes I just fall asleep. I'm old, so I fall asleep.
So Kim Kardashian had pretty much one of the most controversial comments in her monologue by stating that, you know, she kind of misses her father. Her father introduced her to her first black person. I'll let you take a stab in the dark who that was. I was like,
OJ.
Wow. A stab in the dark. And then she goes, yeah, OJ Simpson. He's like, when you meet OJ for the first time, he really leaves his mark on you.
So that was
like, come on now.
They did a good job writing for her, though. So I was talking to another, like one of our homegirls, you know, like our kid has these, you get old, you got children who 20 years apart just about. You got to set up play dates because they're not old enough to be friends. So we were out, Keisha and I, Journey, Royal's best, like one of Royal's close friends. We went to dinner and Keisha and I were talking. And so I was just telling her, like, I don't really follow the Kardashians like that or the Kardashian Jenners or whatever like that, just because I felt like at some point they were like culture vultures. Like, but now I feel like they've given back to the culture in a different way. Like they have their own thing. And I had to give Kim a little credit because Kim has her Innocence Project thing that she works on.
Right.
She's been doing a lot of work. You know, and although what got her to fame, she's trying to change the narrative of who she is. Like, whatever. I was like, to me, I thought it was just this thing about trying to be like set this whole beauty mark, but it's more to her. So I had to give, I had to give her credit. Like after sitting there talking to Keisha, and Keisha's a good attorney for the Kardashian Jenners.
Really?
But I wasn't buying that crap.
Okay.
But it was pretty good, and I have to, I really applaud her on her efforts.
So the same way we talked about on the last Versus, Nelly making a beeline over to Ashanti. Apparently, there was a lot of flirting going on between Kanye and Kim on the SNL set.
Well, they're not divorced. It's not finalized. They filed.
they're separated.
Separated, absolutely. He's still in the house. Like, he got his leg in the door. So he can, he got them little children running around there. I think that it's his mental health that has to be in check.
Okay.
Because a person can only take that for so long, in the sense that when he goes on those different, when he's off his meds, he goes straight left.
So,
and that's hard to manage.
So let's speak about what you just said there. He's still in the house. He's still there. They're not divorced. The divorce papers have been filed.
Right.
So comparing that to another couple whom the female had an interview this week, and then the female being Lala.
Gotcha.
She did an interview
she
did an interview with Angie Martinez.
Wow. Okay.
And Angie was asking her, what's it like being single again? And she's like, this is nothing new for me. I mean, granted, I just filed for the divorce, but we've been separated since 2017. Mm-hmm. She just recently filed the papers. Mm-hmm. So she's like, I've been single for, pretty much almost 5 years now. Life hasn't changed for me. So how do you feel about, going through those extended periods of separation before officially filing for a divorce?
That ain't gonna fly with me. Like, we gonna legally be separated so we can have separated activities going on. Because my thing, and that's one of the things that I had an argument with another female about. And I'm not trying to, petition for Carmelo. I ain't petitioning on his private parts or nothing. But my thing was, she's like, but they're still married. And my thing was, when you're separated, like I had to even point out to my friend, when you go through issues with your guy, like, and you're telling him, oh, you're over, you're done, and he's trying to fight for you, but you're giving him every reason not to fight. Like, what do you expect for him? What do you expect to happen? Mm-hmm. So when Lala and him, they've been separated for since 2017. He done had 2 different sets of kids.
Right. So that's why I think the narrative changes for me when I found that out, because I was led to believe, I won't say I was told because nobody told me, it's just me reading, what have you. I was led to believe that the reason
you went to Duke, though.
No, I didn't go to Duke.
Go ahead.
I was led to believe the reason she filed for divorce is because the set of twins that he just recently had.
Oh, no.
So if that's being said, if they've been separated since 2017,
I think it was the stripper that did it for him, the baby with the stripper.
But what I'm saying, is that why she filed?
Maybe that
year?
was no, she didn't file this year.
It was January 2021 that the court said.
But I think so. For me, I was thinking they had already filed in 2019. I don't know. It was the baby, but he had denied that little baby for a second. So
what I'm saying, if they were separated, why should that play an issue? If we're separated, then I'm doing me, you're doing you, I'm doing me. What I do now.
But I still would expect you to cheat respectfully. Be out here in the streets, be discreet.
Separated.
Be discreet. But just because we separated, so you just go ahead and have a whole football team or a basket starting 5, that's disrespectful as hell.
Obviously, you don't want me, right? So I'm gonna do me.
When she wanted him, you don't know what was going on.
I mean,
you don't know what was going on.
Kevin Garnett says she tastes like Cheerios.
Well, maybe she do. However,
so I'm just saying.
He for the streets, sis. He for the streets. Sis, don't worry about him. Keep it pushing. But that's what I think, and that's the part that plays in my mind, is that why she started doing a lot more, now you see her a lot naked, almost half naked. I ain't saying, because she didn't want to be naked in the, in Power. Right. But that's a part of 50 Cent, his old dirty self, his claws.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because Lala is showing up a lot on 50's Instagram.
Mm-hmm. So you think 50 finna try and slide in the DM?
I don't know. What do you think?
She maybe, look, at this point,
it was also, she stated on the Angie Martinez interview that she was on the set of BMF and helped coach Cash Doll through that sex scene.
I don't know how she coached, because never mind. Anyway, that's just me being me, but whatever. I don't know how she coached. She looked as stiff as a nail on Power. So how is you coaching somebody?
Shane looks stiff as a nail in The Shy.
Well, that's because she had done did 50 episodes of the Darn Power. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? So I'm glad she's lending a hand to Cash Doll in that, because although people be thinking these women are like these sex symbols, that don't mean they really know how. Like, this acting just comes naturally. I would have figured it probably came naturally to Cash Doll because she does speak very. But she even said it in her interview that she struggled with a lot of the like her being super sexy when it comes to acting. So I'm not, yeah, I guess. But I just, like I said, I think that plays a part in my mind. Like, wow, when she really checked out, that's why you started seeing more pictures of her in more revealing clothes or, and fewer things.
But why is that the case? I mean,
Because we want to show y'all, because see, y'all tend to cheat down. So we like trying to show you what we got. Like, yeah, we still got it.
But maybe if you did that when you were together, there wouldn't have been a reason to step out.
How do you know? Look, nephew laughing because he already know how my train of thought be working, but whatever.
So another situation. I look at the pictures that were posted on Instagram with Steve and Marjorie Harvey. He goes and writes this book about.
And your wife be having, like, I can see her nipples through that dress for her
Exactly.
50th birthday.
So I mean, is he practicing what he's preaching?
He's showing
Is he
his,
doing
he's showing off
what
his,
he's telling these females not to do?
First off, I started listening to him when his daughter don't listen. So when the youngest kid be the one that give you the most headaches. When your youngest kid ain't listening, I ain't listening either. Buddy, you got this whole book. She obviously skipped that. She didn't even want to hear the audio. So I'm not even checking for him and his wife. But I think that it's a thing, like, I think that women, for so long, you be moms and you're not trying to be that. But when your kids get grown, you be trying to stunt like it ain't nobody business. And she looks good at 50. That lady's beautiful.
All I'm going to say is a couple weeks ago we talked about
You
Steph
have
Curry
an old grandma
we
thing
talked-
anyways.
we
You
talked
like
about
old
Steph
ladies.
Curry mama? Marjorie Harvey in that category.
Word.
Man, if Marjorie was 70, Solomon would say the same thing. He got a grandma mommy issue or something
Hey,
going
Miss
on.
Jones.
I don't know. See, yeah, he do. So he gonna kick your butt talking about his mama. But anywho, I think women, when we go through breakups, that's our way of kind of like getting our bounce back, because you want to get as many compliments as you can. So for me, and I tell people all the time, I like giving compliments to people. I say it to women when we're out and about, and you've seen me do that to people. I'm very good about, like, oh, she looks pretty. I tell people that because I feel like if you hear that more often, then you ain't got to act like you ain't never heard it before.
So y'all make it seem like Drake speaking truth then.
He is a little bit.
Yeah.
He know.
When we break up, y'all be wearing less and stepping out more, huh?
They do.
Oh, okay.
They do. Because they've been in the
Hanging
house.
with some
they've been
friends I
around.
never seen before.
I can't.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
Whatever. But I think that that's just how life is. I think as women, as moms, you get to be in a place where you try not to be too sexy because you're trying to focus on your kid or whatever. Lala got to be careful though, because her little baby, he a big boy now. So your homeboy is gonna be like, dude, I seen your mom's tits, and that's gonna be a fight. Because if you ever would have seen my dad had a fat stomach, but if you would have been like, oh, your dad got a nice dad, boy, I'll punch you in your throat. Like, don't talk about my daddy like that. He cool, but don't be talking about
But
him
we're
like
in a
that.
different era. I mean, what we talking about? Old boy at Sierra Canyon,
Yeah.
Drake stepson.
Yeah.
So his mom all on Instagram as an IG model, showing off everything.
Yeah, this is a different day and age, and the kids accepting certain stuff, but they also extra sensitive.
Gotcha.
So it's a different day. But anywho,
So we're going to head to this last break of the show. But before we do, I want to give a shout out to Meg Thee Stallion. Meg Thee Stallion has purchased a Popeyes franchise
that's my girl. Love
and
man.
now has a collaboration with Popeyes.
So she
where-
gonna be clucking and
No,
twerking.
what-
Wait, I love
where they're
me.
introducing the Meg Thee Stallion hottie sauce.
So every
It's a brand of
Time
hot
out.
sauce. But it's
she
Popeyes hot
doing
sauce.
well, I'm
hottie
glad
sauce.
she purchased a franchise. One, two, at least she's doing better than you just putting people's name on these meals, because now she gonna reap it double.
Oh, you trying
So
to
I ain't mad
throw
at her.
shade at Nelly?
I ain't said nothing.
Burger King meal?
What's his real name? Curtis something?
Well,
Well, no, his name Curtis something. This is something that whatever. Cornelius. Yeah, so that's what's up. I like Meg.
Meg Thee
Meg my
Stallion
girl.
with some hottie sauce. We stopping at Popeyes on the way home.
You not even my wings. But
Well,
anywho.
we're coming right back with segment 3 of His, Hers, and Ours for this much anticipated NFL standing.
Absolutely, because
That's
I
what
know
they've been waiting on.
I moved up in the stats. Yes, go
That's what
ahead.
they've been waiting on. Shannon needed a bounce back.
And
Did she get it?
last night she took an L, but today she bounced back. Hey,
Did she get it?
I
You
did,
might
but
have
anyway.
bounced back. You're still in the basement. We'll be
Whatever.
right back.
Go to my nigga's phone. What you know about that? Shit be on my nerves when it keeps ringing back to back. What the fuck is that? Fuck a bitch on stress. It's always the mindset I'm in. But an ex game is not the game. I'm trying to play it all. Is she on your mind? You can go and do what y'all niggas always doing. Don't tell me. She better understand the consequence you fucking with. Tonight I'll end it. Spin the block 2-3 times to make sure all the cancer's gone. That bitch always for a reason, no reason, no. I got what I know she still wants, and I make them do what she does. That bitch always for a reason, no. Too much for her to take, and fuck for what she gotta say. That bitch always for a reason, no reason, no. Position unannounced, I didn't even know I was around.
That bitch in a dish for a reason, though. She was sticking on his dick with them easy notes. You was ex for a reason, so ain't no motherfucking reason to be reasonable. You the type I slap out. And you mad cause the bitch got a bag in my back out. Keep playing, I'ma snap out. Call his motherfucking phone number again, I'ma black out. Hood bitch, bring the trap out. Quick to pull up if a bitch wanna act out. He got a bitch with a check now. Doing tricks on the dick, you ain't shipping him to check out. I got that nigga in the bigger phone. You the help in the service, he don't need no more. Did you get that bitch? Sit back, cause a real bitch will pull up with the click clack.
That bitch always for a reason, no reason, no. I got what I know she still wants, and I make them do what she does. That bitch always for a reason, no. Too much for her to take, and fuck for what she gotta say. That bitch always for a reason, no reason, no. I take shit unannounced, I didn't even know I was around. Ain't no competing when it comes to spending time with me. Someone say the shit she won't say. Keeping it up in your face with it. Them and me are different. It ain't no ultimatum. Zero tolerance, zero tolerance with anything fucking with mine. She done called you twice. You can go and do what y'all niggas always doing, try to lie to me. You better understand the consequence you fucking with. Tonight I'll end it. Oh. Spin the block 2-3 times to make sure all the cancer's gone. That bitch always for a reason, no reason, no. I got what I know she still wants, and I make them do what she does. That bitch always for a reason, no. Too much for her to take, and fuck for what she gotta say. That bitch always for a reason, no reason, no. I got this shit unannounced, and I didn't even know I was around.
And we're back with the host Shannon Roy Davis and my co-host
Solomon Davis. What's the name
for
of the show?
segment 3 for His, Hers, and Ours.
Okay.
And this is where we get interesting. It's our picks of the week.
That's
need
what
to
they've
hear
been
me.
waiting on, y'all.
Yeah, we've been talking our ass the
That's
whole
what they've
week.
been waiting on, y'all.
Yep.
So, NFL standings, week 5 in the books. Coming in first place for the week. We don't say overall because we don't want to.
We ain't gonna do it in reverse.
We can do it in
Let's do it
reverse.
in reverse because I know I got to be in the bottom.
Want to do it in reverse? The man
Yeah,
say
yeah.
he in the bottom. He ain't never lied to you.
Do it.
So bringing up the rear this week,
Terrible.
the Surgeon General
Ah.
with a record of 9-7.
Hey, that's cool. I thought I was 8-8.
Gotcha.
Coming in third place, Alfie Santana
Yeah.
with a record of 12-4.
Wow.
Oh.
Tied at the top. And I'll go ahead and say she's in first. She needs that. She needed to get her
I
confidence
don't
up a
need
little
no
bit.
boost from you. I've been saying this all week, but go ahead. With a record of what?
My co-host and I, we tied with a record of 13-3.
Yeah.
So I gave
That was
up.
nice.
I gave up like
Nice.
4 solid.
So
Nice. I
second,
needed
third,
that.
and fourth place got real interesting this week.
I needed that.
So right now, the overall standings. I'm in first place with a record of 55-23. Oh man. Surge is in second place.
Okay.
With a record of 49-29. Alfie is in third place with a record of 48-30. And Shannon catching up fastly, 47-31.
Ooh, that
Look at
is
that.
close.
Didn't I tell y'all all I needed was a little flip of the, yeah, I needed a little flip.
So
Okay.
that 13-3 helped her out a little bit.
Absolutely.
But I feel now I can take a couple of risks.
Go
I
ahead.
got a little bit of a lead.
No risk it, no biscuit.
No
Go
risk
ahead.
it, no biscuit. BA, shout out.
Go ahead.
But what hurt you, sir, you had the order that we picked in, you had a 3-game stretch where you were like 0 for 3.
Yeah, I know.
So you picked
The Browns.
the Browns was one, you picked the Raiders in the Chicago versus the
Yeah, I
Raiders
put,
game,
Yep.
yeah.
and then you picked Denver versus Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Yeah, that hurt you right there.
It did. The Denver one hurt. And they were winning too.
Then you throw in that Kansas City game,
Yeah.
Buffalo, Kansas City.
I could have sworn I thought one of y'all had picked the Bills, like just trying to go. I know
But
we
hold on.
talked about
Now
it.
that I'm looking at this, nah, you deserve to have a bad week. You took Philadelphia over Tampa Bay.
I did
did.
take Philadelphia.
That's what it was.
I don't know what I was.
You
Man,
because
come
we
on.
had all the bang up players.
That was
but
my
it's okay.
biscuit.
All right, let's go.
Let's get into it this week. A better game over in London tomorrow at 9:30. The Miami Dolphins and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
God.
Alfie Santana takes the Miami Dolphins.
I think this gonna be Jacksonville 1 win.
You going with Jacksonville?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jacksonville.
Let's see. I'm a roll with the Dolphins. I'm gonna roll with the Dolphins.
Go ahead.
I think Urban Meyer gonna be in a couple of clubs over in London.
But they got Tua coming back starting.
Tua coming back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going with the Dolphins.
Going with Dolphins.
Oh, this my lone
This
wolf.
could be that tie.
That's that one that I want right here. Okay, come on, Trevor.
The Minnesota Vikings at the Carolina Panthers. Alfie Santana takes the Carolina Panthers.
I got the Panthers as well.
I'm gonna take.
This is a gamble.
I don't know if Christian McCaffrey playing. It's at Carolina. I'm rolling with Minnesota. I don't like it because I don't like
you don't like Kirk Cousins. I wanted you to say Carolina so I could be the only one taking the Vikings because I feel like the Vikings are overdue. They've lost a couple of close wins. They won last week, so that's
need
why I
Carolina
wanted
to
to get
fall
them.
back in the division standings. That's all.
Whatever. So me and you got the Vikings.
We got the Vikings.
Suck.
That's going to be a good one.
Potential game of the week right here. The Los Angeles Chargers at the Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore.
Alfie takes Baltimore as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Baltimore as well.
I'm going lone wolf. Justin Herbert is balling. I like the Chargers. I think we all unanimous on this next pick. Los Angeles Rams at the New York Giants.
The Rams.
Everybody takes the Rams. Let me go to Alfie's picks, make sure. He takes the Rams. We're good. iffy game right here. Houston Texans at the Indianapolis Colts.
Wait, the Texans and who?
Houston Texans at the Indianapolis Colts. Alfie takes Indianapolis.
I'm gonna take the Colts.
I can risk it. I got one on this. I'm taking Houston.
Go ahead.
I'm going out there, Houston.
You said where is it? In Indianapolis?
It's at Indy.
Solomon, we're gonna have to go back through this chat and you're gonna have to get Jason Picks. Nephew on here.
Okay.
Guesting.
Let's see. The Texans. Jeez. And they're both trash. I'll go with the Colts.
You're rolling with the Colts.
Yeah.
I think old boy lost a close one on Sunday, so he trying to, or Monday night. Was that Monday night?
Monday night.
Yeah, so he's trying to make it up.
The Kansas City Chiefs at the Washington football team.
I'm gonna go with KC.
Yeah. KC.
We're unanimous because Alfie took KC as well. The Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears.
I'm going with the Packers. I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers.
Bears on a 2-game winning streak since Justin Field has been a starter.
Go ahead. You already seen Alfie pick. Alfie picked Green Bay.
Yeah, I'll go with Green Bay.
I gotta go with Green Bay strictly because Devontae.
Keep going with your Bears like you've been doing.
I'm just pointing
Go
out
ahead.
facts.
I'm just saying. But
Maybe
go
I can
ahead.
persuade y'all, provide y'all a little
And,
bit of information.
Nah, we good on.
Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals at the Detroit Lions.
That coach gonna cry again. I just feel like he gonna cry again. And shout out, man. I felt him on Sunday when he was crying.
Yeah, let him cry. I got Cincinnati. Alfie has Cincinnati.
He gonna cry again.
Yeah, I'll go with Cincinnati.
Once again, where I pick up my ground on Surge, the Arizona Cardinals at the Cleveland Browns. Mind you,
This is a Thursday, right?
no, this is tomorrow.
This is Sunday night game? Oh.
No, tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
4.
Mind you, the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, Cliff Kingsbury, has tested positive for COVID, so he will not be on the sideline.
We also don't got
However,
Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb will not be playing in the game.
I'm going with the badass kid, as they say on the other show. Yeah. Another show I listen to.
I don't want to go against my team.
The OG Sports Show say the
What?
badass kid. That's what I'm rolling with. Give me Arizona. Going for that 6 win.
Simply because I don't see Arizona rolling undefeated the rest of the way.
They're not.
They're
They're going to
undefeated
get
right
beat.
now.
But I'm saying they're going to play their own. They usually lose in their division.
It's that old Buccaneer fan in me that
Go ahead.
Jameis used to always win the game he should lose
Gotcha.
and lose the ones he should win.
Okay.
Baker should lose this game, so he'll mess
He'll
around and
win
win
it.
this one.
Okay, so you
I'm
going with the
rolling with
Browns.
Cleveland this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't not.
It's okay.
He's gotta
He
pick
got to go
Cleveland.
for Cleveland. Your brother already went for Cleveland.
And it's Arizona too, right?
Nope.
No,
It's in
it's in
Cleveland.
Oh, it's in
Cleveland.
I'll
I'm
go
a-
with Cleveland. I got
Go
to.
ahead.
I got to.
So, Solomon, you going with Cleveland?
I'm going with Cleveland.
All right, everybody going with Cleveland but me. All right. Come on, Shannon. You pick up these extra wins.
The Dallas Cowboys at the New England Patriots.
Cowboys.
See what Alfie chose. Whoa, what happened?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna roll with them. Yeah, I'm a roll with Dallas.
Yeah.
Because last week the Patriots struggled with the Texans to me, and that was like the most disrespectful thing I had seen in a long time. After just seeing this kid go up against the GOAT, and you just like was plucking things, like he was doing some stuff.
Hey, Alfie, if you're listening, copy your message with your picks and then send them to me because I happen to lose them here.
He has he picked Dallas. He picked Dallas in the comments. Here it is. You want me to screenshot
You got
it?
it?
Yeah.
Well, just call out his picks from here on out.
Okay.
So Alfie's rolling with Dallas. Dallas versus New England. Dallas just looks too good to me right now. I take Dallas.
Oh, Jerry Jones on there.
The Las Vegas Raiders with their new coach,
Who is that?
Rich Bisaccia.
Was he like the offensive coordinator? Or
He was
something?
the special teams coach.
Okay, go ahead with the next one. Who they playing?
They're playing at the Denver Broncos.
They just coming off. It's gonna be one or two things. Like either you gonna rise from the ashes, or you just gonna fall.
So with that being said,
And they playing against Denver. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna ride out with Denver this time. I can't even say put the Raiders on my paper this week.
well, I'm putting the Raiders on my paper because
Go
I think
ahead.
they're gonna rise together as players and say we're gonna show we better than Gruden. Serge,
Say him again.
the Raiders at the Broncos. Raiders with no coach, an interim coach,
I got to go with the Broncos because they blew it last week, so they got to.
and Alfie took who?
And Alfie took the.
Yeah, the Browns are going to win that game.
You think so? Alfie took Denver.
So you changing your pick?
No, I picked
Alfie
the
Oh,
took
you
Browns.
pick
Denver.
Cleveland? Okay.
Alfie picked Denver too. The Broncos.
I just had to look up some things first. I said, okay, we're good.
Alfie took Denver. The Seattle Seahawks with Geno Smith at quarterback
Ooh.
against the Pittsburgh Steelers
Oh,
at
but
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Steelers. Gino, I saw some good stuff from him, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I hate picking Pittsburgh, but whatever.
What did Alfie take?
Alfie picked Seattle.
He picked
Wow.
Seattle. Alfie, you're the lone wolf. I'm rolling with Pittsburgh. Yeah, I think Ben's gonna do some things. Plus, Russ just sitting at home with Sierra. He ain't on the field no more. So
He getting that Sierra action.
oh,
And
that
that's
that
what
was
we're
the
talking
Sunday night game as well. So Sunday night
Okay.
in Pittsburgh. Monday
right.
night game, really good game. Buffalo Bills at the Tennessee Titans.
Ooh, I'm taking Buffalo though. Buffalo look nice on the road against Kansas City. They don't care about your environment, and Josh Allen just looked good. He looked playoff ready. So I'm taking Buffalo.
Buffalo and
That's the Monday night game.
That's the Monday night game. What did Alfie take?
Alfie took Buffalo.
I am taking Tennessee.
Okay.
Tennessee can control the clock with Derrick Henry, and Mike Vrabel can play defense.
Okay.
I'm taking Tennessee.
I'm gonna go with Buffalo. Yeah, I gotta go with Buffalo.
I extend my lead.
And
As you think,
Buffalo's,
but whatever.
you know, top 4 rushing defense. And Henry is real spotty. Like,
Okay.
so go ahead. You run
When
with
I
that.
seen the Titans struggle with the Jets, I look at them real differently. But
Don't
go
talk
ahead.
about it.
I
We
ain't
need-
talking to him. He keeping them. He keeping that on the
I'm taking
book.
Tennessee.
But go
Run
ahead.
with it. Cool. I need to
And
climb back
The
in.
last game of the week, the Thursday night game,
That's the Browns game.
the Denver Broncos
No, it's not
at
the
the
Broncos.
Cleveland Browns.
Oh, it is the Brown game. We're going with Cleveland. We're gonna be home 2 weeks in a row.
Am I gonna pick Cleveland
We should
twice
get
in a week?
we should get Chubb back
So
by
who
then.
Cleveland playing?
Denver.
Denver.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Pick Cleveland
I'm
twice in a week.
So on a Thursday night, and by the way, Alfie picked Cleveland as well. So he has Cleveland listed in the books, and I'm gonna take Cleveland as well on that Thursday night since I didn't take him earlier.
I took Cleveland against Arizona.
And you think that Denver? Go ahead. I want to hear him say Cleveland 2 times because that's what he's gonna have to say.
Yeah, I might have to.
Good.
Yeah, I'm not really feeling that one, but hey, it is what it is.
Yep.
I'll take Cleveland on Thursday against Denver. I wholeheartedly I don't believe it, but I'm gonna take it.
You don't believe that Cleveland
Because,
can beat
I mean-
Denver on a Thursday night? Now let's make 2 home games for
Because
for
I don't
Cleveland
know
back-to-back.
if Chubb will be back for that game.
Yeah.
I don't have confidence in Baker 2 weeks in a row. I think Baker has something to prove because he has this game tomorrow. He's playing against Kyler Murray. He was Kyler Murray's predecessor at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
This is the only game in NFL history where 2 Heisman Trophy winners from the same school have played each
against
other.
them. Oh wow, that's gonna be good. And that's why I feel like that badass kid just gonna show up and show out
We got
because
that
you
game.
done seen.
We got that game.
He done seen the Rams. He done seen it. This look and Solomon, you know from experience because you saw him here in Tampa. And although we got the W, that thing's something special. That little boy, that man's
Yeah,
special.
but I look at Garrett on one side, Clowney on the other. They can control the clock with their run game.
Okay.
They've got a secondary that won't shut down. And contributing through the chat. Shout out to Bakari Robinson, David Robinson, Alfie Santana, Reginald Gray. You know, we appreciate everybody
appreciate
and
that.
those that
Nephew.
Jason Williams, those that hit us up in the DMs as you're listening throughout the week. We appreciate you all as well. We will be back next Saturday, 4 p.m., same time, same place, announcing that Shannon's still in the basement.
Nah, because you heard what the lead is. Slim. But it's all good.
No, hold on. The lead isn't slim.
Yo, you
the
not
lead
that,
is big.
how
You
big
up by
was it?
like
you
what,
up by
7?
3 games, 4 games?
I'm at 55 and 23. I got a
Okay.
6.
And I got
Games.
48.
I got 6.
But you're gonna
games
give me
over
back.
Surge.
You're gonna give me back 3 of them at least this week. So I'm just gonna keep chipping away.
Well, until you get back, you got to get back.
And on that
I'm
note,
ju-
we'll be back
I'm
next
just- I'm
week.
just
I
gonna
am
do what I
Shannon
do, and
Royal
that's-
Davis with my co-host.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what.
He is a loser in real life, but whatever. Solomon Davis, and that concludes our episode 23. Jordan,
Episode 23.
yeah, we'll see y'all
The
next
LeBron
week.
episode.
It's a Jordan episode, but okay.
All right.
Thank
We'll
y'all.
holler at y'all next week. His, hers, and ours. We out of here.
Yeah.
We closing it out. Surgeon General featuring Izzy Stars.
Oh, he giving us a song.
This
2
is
weeks in
another
a row.
joint. This
2
is
weeks
all
in a
night
row.
long.
Let's go, Surge.
Hey, hold on before you play it.
What's up?
Tell them about again the Orpheum.
Yo,
Oh, yeah. Week from tomorrow. We're going to be at the Orpheum. I don't know what time yet because it depends on how many tickets I sell. So, looking like I might be in there, bitch, for 5 minutes. No, it's going to be a good time.
Hey,
Me and
bro.
Gino Lexus.
Hey, we in the building
We're
after
in
the
the
Bears
building.
game next Sunday. We're gonna leave the stadium, roll straight through the Orpheum. So check us out there. Come meet the guests of His, Hers, and Ours at the Orpheum.
Right? Let's go.
Meet the host.
The host.
Thank
oh, my
you.
bad.
Easy. Ooh, ooh, oh girl, we gon' end up stepping out tonight. Dress fly, grab a little bite. Call to the bar, couple of drinks in. Let me know what you're thinking. Leaving the scene, chemistry between. Seems to he that she be that queen. Don't know for sure, but let's go the next road. The best night to get more, so hold tight, don't let go. Come on and be with me forever. I want you all night long. Come on and be with me forever. I want you all night long. Netflix and the chill. The best bet and it's real. The chest letting it feel. The sex best and it's ill. The next session in this lesson, we've been sweating, spin the final from line, no Richie. It rhymes slow and I know it gives me the time, though, to shine. Oh, the smash on the spot, whoa, then ask her, can I go?